Mi me gusta bailar, la ritmo de la noche, sounds of fiesta. Means I'm gonna go to the beach and dance, basically. Anyway, these two teams gonna dance it out on the rift. Let's go! As the clock ticks over to 10:50. What are these teams going to bring us, Freddy? What exciting things await us in the midnight hours here?
Hopefully some dancing on the beach. I wonder what the priorities will be. I'm always excited about the jungle matchup, seeing these two teams play. Jankos, I think, continues to have strong performances, just like he did last split. And I think that Malrang, I think at the beginning of last split, he struggled. But I was quite surprised by community sentiment around him towards the end, throughout the best of threes and the best of fives, because I felt like that he was so important to their success in terms of the early game and how much that he was doing for Koi and kind of what helped them return to the top spots that we have in Europe, securing top 3 last split. So yeah, I'm always excited to watch these two junglers duke it out. It's always going to be a guaranteed banger, as both junglers have taken many games off of each other, as both teams right now very much in need of a win at the start of spring. Yeah,
Koi losing to Astralis yesterday, Heretics losing to G2. Two teams we've seen battle it out in probably the best game of the split so far in the last game. Annie banned out here by Heretics means the Sejuani immediately locked for Koi. Heretics could go for something like the Vi as an answer. It's kind of the handshake we've been seeing a lot across the course of spring. And Jankos had a very good performance yesterday. Vi would suit him in terms of having an impact on the map once again. But instead, Xayah, it seems, or Zeri maybe, for Jack Spectra instead. So Zeri plus Vi here would be a good 1-2 from Heretics.
Seems that they're just...
Wukong,
okay, Wukong taking a bit of a different direction. Not that it's that strange, of course. No. Both champions still very present in the meta, but Heretics wanting a few team fight tools with an element of scaling. Of course, this composition can still go in a number of different directions. The Jace, though, going to be prioritized alongside the Sylas. Koi very confident in their top side of the map. They want to give Jigenda more agency, and this is exciting to see. Jigenda was brought in as someone who, in theory, could play more carries. He was supposed to be more versatile. He was supposed to be someone that they could look to play through more than compared to Odoamne, and then they did not do that at all last split. It was very much, as was often the case with Koi, a very bot-side focused team. But Sejuani plus Jace can be a very effective top jungle duo, so we'll see if they can play through Jigenda and enable him to be this carry top. Of course, their bot lane still yet to be locked in, as no support was secured for Heretics, as they wanted to make sure they could get a decent mid-matchup rise with decent push as an option against the Sylas. Can look to bully him out and potentially look for these roams in the early game to try and limit what Jigenda can do on the map.
And it's the struggle when people away or divert from the traditional draft style of jungle support AD carry on the first 3, right? As soon as someone says, okay, we're going to pick top side, you now only have one slot as Heretics to try and answer that top side of the map. They went with the Rise, and you can see Koi are starting to remove some of the top laners that would be a nuisance for Jace later on.
For sure. I like the Senna ban. They were expecting the Senna show from Koi. Something that they were known for in the past. I forget exactly when Senna was better. It was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense that they would want to respect that, especially given how creative the spot lane can often be. The Lulu being denied away from the Zeri also makes a lot of sense. But how will Heretics look to round out their first half? You expect the support. Right now, they're looking at a couple of options. Heimerdinger is something that we've been seeing a lot of recently.
The thing is, you can also pick top because you already know your top lane counter, right? Usually you would expect support here. I totally agree with you, Betty, but top makes sense into the Jace. We'll see where Ebby wants to go. Oh, no, we won't. We already know where he's going to go. Cassante. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. I was so sure Cassante was just going to get locked and we'd see the Ebby special, but Tryndamere instead, something he played a lot in the LFL. He will bring that one back out. Lucian Nami for Koi. I was wondering if it would be something like a Felios Thresh, but Lucian Nami instead. There is someone in the crowd with an I Love Yumi sign. I'm just going to shout them out. Probably not going to see her, but you do you. Not going to yuck your yum. And we are on the patch where she's not good, thankfully.
That's next patch.
Yeah.
But Tryndamere, as you rightly said, something that Ebby very well known for back in the LJL days. One of his go-to favorites. We also got to see it in the SKE show match at the beginning of the year from him in the mid lane. I think it can be a pretty good matchup into the Jace. Those early levels are really where Jace has to kind of take advantage of the range that he has over the Tryndamere, but as the game progresses, Tryndamere's scaling is something that's very difficult for many duelists to be able to manage, and we'll see how effective he can be with it as Heretics round out their draft with Rakan. They want a little bit more follow-up with their engage. Slightly easier way to start off these fights. There's a lot of mobility on the side of Koi as they return to the Lucian Nami bot lane, something that in Europe has largely fallen out of favor, but I think still has strengths. Not as strong as it was, but especially in this matchup, I think that it's something that they can look to gain some advantages with. So Koi, they have early game lanes that they can definitely look to play through, whether it be through the top side of the map or the bot side of the map, whereas I do think that Heretics do have pretty good scaling on their side. They have a lot of team fight power especially, but their 1-through-1, their ability to play through sides with things like the Ryze and the Tryndamere is going to be really important when going up against a Sylas and a Jace. These solo lanes are going to be really integral to the success of their teams, and looking for early leads around these lanes is going to be crucial in order to set up for the mid to late game to create this split push pressure. Heretics versus Koi, our matchup of the week for week 1 of spring. Guaranteed to be a banger. A lot of fans are excited for this rivalry in Europe, and we'll see who can come out on top.
That we will, Betty. That we will. Vamos to Summoner's Rift. Here you go. As Koi and Heretics take to the stage for our last game of the day. We are into the game. I promise you there are no more delays yet. And as everyone runs actually down towards this bottom side jungle, Heretics might look for an invade. Could just be protecting against any early vision. Now Ebby can spin across that wall, slash anyone he finds, but he doesn't find anyone. So Heretics now going to use this opportunity, knowing that they're not on vision, to step forward. Larson. Mercer knocks him up, and immediately Heretics are on the board. Ebby spins, and gets first blood.
Wow. Caught Larson completely unawares, and a little bit surprising. They had no one watching that entrance. Ebby went over the wall to see if anyone was in the bush, if anyone was nearby, that maybe he could catch them off guard after recognizing that no one was there. Well, the rest of Heretics just move into that space, and Koi fell prey to the lying trap that Heretics had set up.
Like catching a fish in a barrel.
You mean like shooting a fish in a barrel?
Yeah, but they caught him.
And then they shot him.
It's more of a big slash. You know?
Murder.
Sword. It was definitely murder.
Yeah,
it was definitely murder.
Ebby will now pick up a longsword and an extra pot thanks to that. So he's pretty happy in the top lane matchup. Is, of course, not running the TP, something to bear in mind, but the Ghost does give you a bit of extra kill threat in the early game. You've got to be careful of those early game Tryndamere crits. Got to see them over in North America from M&S. He definitely bullied Jojo in the matchup. And he's looking to do the same thing. Can we quickly pan over to top lane, observers? I see Ebby taking a pretty aggressive trade. No? Okay, we'll stay bot. No,
there we are. So the thing with Tryndamere, if you see that red bar underneath him, just because we don't see him too often, I'll explain his passive. There's a crit.
There, right there.
The more of that red bar he builds up, the more likely he is to crit. It goes up to 40% at 100 Fury from, 0% at 0 Fury, so 4% every 10 Fury he gets. And part of the battle when facing a Tryndamere is you often play crit roulette.
Yep, the
which
RNG gods.
Hey, he spins on me. If he crits, I lose the lane. If he doesn't crit, I win the lane.
Yep.
At the moment, Ebby in a pretty strong position, obviously, because he got first blood and has a longsword alongside his Doran's shield.
Also, it can heal him.
It can heal him. He uses his Fury to heal himself. It's called Bloodlust. It's cute.
Yeah, so there was a period in time, well, across the world where Tryndamere was just very popular in mid and top, and then he just kind of fell out of favor. I forget exactly why, but cool to see Ebby bringing the champion back out as an answer to the Jace. Gonna dive on top. Any crits? No, not that time around. Good spacing there from Jigenda, but again, it's this play pattern that Ebby can keep taking advantage of. Spinning in, going for a short trade, maybe getting a quick crit off, and then if he doesn't, he can heal it back up. And of course, he still has 2 health pots that he's sitting on, and basically this war of attrition he is consistently winning out on, as Jigenda going with the Doran's Blade and the health pot means that he's already out of pots. So Ebby playing the isolated 1v1 matchup very well. I did also note that Yankos actually did a full bot side clear, took his red and then moved into the enemy jungle. And he's already face-to-face with Malrang right now. And Ruby has gotten the push in mid lane as well. So pushing mid, pushing top, and Jankos is setting up an invade. So Koi need to be careful at this point in the game already, because Heretics are looking to build some early game advantages, and they're looking to do that through this early prio they have built up for themselves. Now, the only thing I can tell you is that Koi have paused the game. Once we have more information as to why, we will share it with you. But the only other fun fact that we have is the last tournament in the LEC was Broken Blade in spring of 2022, which is just last year. So it's not that uncommon, as we mentioned. Tournament has seen competitive play in the last few years. Spinning champions recently have just become more popular.
Yeah. Garen, Darius, Tryndamere.
All suspiciously by the same person. Yeah.
What champ would Batman play?
What champ would Batman play? I don't know.
The Dark Knight Rises. It's Rise.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
Yeah, it wasn't my best work.
No,
but it's also 11 o'clock at night, so.
Okay.
Lee Sin walks into a bar.
Okay.
And a table. And a chair. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you've heard it before.
Someone in the audience, literally,
you want to come
no joke. He no joke just looked Medic dead in the eye and said, "I've heard that one before. Come, clown. Continue with your jokes. Entertain me." Yeah. Well, clown, go, begin.
Well, I can entertain you by telling you that Larson's reported some FPS issues, which League officials are investigating. I don't, man, like...
Dance for us.
The problem is, I have League of Legends puns up
Then give us another one.
But they're really bad. It's a Reddit thread, so obviously they're
so you're stealing content now? What content have you stolen for us? Share.
Where does Fiora water her plants?
I don't know.
On garden.
That one's quite good.
Thank you, Summer Sun 1, 7 years ago. Oh, okay. Wait,
we have a headset. Wait, we have a spare one. Wait.
Shocks will take my headset.
No, hang on. I think we have a spare one.
Can we get Shoutcaster 1 turned on, please?
Put that on. Hang on a second.
Shocks has joined us.
Can you guys hear Sharks?
You guys can hear her? Excellent. I stole your joke? Okay. I didn't know that, did I? I'm just here reading them.
Just pause, I said it.
Oh, really?
About Lee Sin.
Oh, okay, so we're actually... I'm stealing from you, and you're stealing from Reddit, and we're all stealing from everyone.
Yeah, it's a segment that we're going to do, probably.
Okay. That's cool.
Maybe. Where we get two pro players to have, like, water in their mouths, and then we tell them bad jokes, and then if they
like
spit
a spit take thing.
That sounded different than what I imagined.
Looks like we're ready to get back.
You want to cast for us for a bit, Aphia?
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, you're welcome to cast for a bit if you want.
That's okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, bye.
Anyway, they're minions.
Thank you, Sharks.
That was good. Thank you very much, Shocks. I'm sorry for stealing your
joke. Quick round of applause for Sharks. Thank you very much. I love how she was so passionate about the fact that you stole her joke.
And she stole it from someone else. I could tell you who she stole it from, actually. From... Okay, no, I can't, because that name has the letters R and the numbers 4 and 3, but in a different order. And so I cannot say that name.
I see. Okay.
Ruby trading with Larson in the mid lane. Back to League of Legends.
I wanted to see what Jankos was up to.
Old school Yorick joke?
The old school Yorick joke?
Yorick walks into a bar. There are no counters. Because he used to be broken.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah, I remember that one. Didn't you have a Yasuo one for me?
Yes. Why does Yasuo never get locked out of his house?
Don't know.
Because he has a key.
I remember that one.
Oh, Marek's going to face you up. Larson here. Sorry. Jankos. And he just knocks him away. One more quick one for you.
Okay.
How'd you get Pikachu on a bus?
Pokemon. That's a classic.
Or you go with the, you can't, he's fictional, stop imagining this then.
Ebby trying to proxy right now, but he's in a bit of danger. Jigenda doesn't really have the mana to fight this.
Larson's moving as well.
Larson is, in fact, making his way over, forcing Jankos to disengage from the small exchange.
But Ruby's going to come across as well. Do Ebby and Jankos want to continue this aggression? It seems like they don't. Jankos is going to work his way down towards the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, go get that crab. Your Gromp is also back up. Mercer trying to interrupt the backs. Oh, he uses the Ignite. Nice timing there, because Jack Spectra already making his way down bot. The small advantage that Comp and Trimby had been able to build in the 2 versus 2 will now be slightly delayed. So there is a now slight tempo advantage in favor of Jack Spectra.
Comp and Trimby have already picked up a plate down there, though, and you can see about a 10-11 CS lead. That's going to fall down a little bit, but the Lucian Nami early game aggression is what it was always known for in here. Seems to be working out okay. Trimby's going to try and catch this wave, but Jack Spectre and Mercer will be having none of that. In fact, they're going for the dive. Trimby heals himself up with the ebb and flow. Does still have the summoner spell heal as well, if so required. But he's low on mana, so he probably wants to get a reset off. Only issue is Comp needs to get back into this lane. You can see Malrang actually working his way down towards the bottom side as well, just in case Heretics decided to do anything a little bit spicy.
For the time being, nothing too dramatic happening in the early game. Advantages being gained in the bot side of the map, kind of as we expected. You leave them in the isolated 2v2. The Lucian army, very effective at being able to bully out the Rakan and Zeri, who, you know, early laning phase, these champions just don't really have the trading powers. Good trade there, though, as I say that from Jack Spectre, able to land everything. Comp forced to burn the health pot. But once again, supports make their way out onto the map, look for a bit of an opportunity, maybe assist with some vision. But for the time being, nothing too crazy happening. Nice to see Jigenda getting a little bit back. The advantage that he does have is the teleport, which means that it's much easier for him to be able to get a comfortable base off, which is exactly what he's gone and done. And now he finds himself with a CS lead, but not really a gold lead, largely thanks to that first blood. As you can see, a 400 gold difference is what separates them.
Exactly, and the Jason to Tryndamere should be able to do this. You know, you have ranged advantage up in that lane. Tryndamere can try and spin onto you, but if you space well, as we've seen Jigenda doing, can be tricky for the Tryndamere to actually make any of that damage really stick. Not effective damage, as we were talking about earlier, Vedi.
Yep.
But Ebby with the level 6 now has that chase potential. The Undying Rage, something you always have to be worried about, especially when you get to this position in the lane, with Ebby having it frozen here. Ghost and a chase onto you could be enough to force Jigenda to fall.
Have a look at the minimap once more. That should give information to Heretics that Malrang is somewhere nearby, given that cone has been popped. But so far, low action in this early game. Not too surprising when we look at the compositions. A lot of it is about making sure that these solo laners are comfortable, they're able to farm up without too much pressure. And a reminder that both these teams, as you can see at the top of your screen, suffered a loss yesterday. Last split, Koi had a very struggling start to the split, whereas Heretics mostly spent the split near the middle of the pack. Expectations were, though, for Heretics that this would be a growing roster, something that builds up over time. Whereas Koi, I think expectations were much higher, of course, in the best of threes. They dominated. I don't even think they dropped a game in the best of threes. It wasn't until they went to the best of fives that they actually saw defeat. But Koi starting off the split, not in the way that they had hoped. But perhaps, little do we know that Astralis is in fact the greatest team in the world, still yet to be seen.
I mean, they beat our champs, so by the transitive property.
I mean, technically, if they beat Mad Lions, they will have beaten the top 3.
Yeah. We'll see if they can do that. Mercer and Jack Spectre trading here. Mercer just trying to get back in, trying to force Comp away.
Has the ult.
Ruby goes in. Realm Warp has been used. Heal coming out from Trimby as well. The bubble just wide, though. Ruby able to dodge it. Trimby does still have the flash here. Can get across that wall. The Ignite is ticking on him, but he'll be able to escape for now. Larson on his way as well. Didn't steal away the Realm Warp, I don't believe, so wasn't able to close that gap any quicker. Instead, much ado about nothing there. Heretics able to force the flash out of Trimby alongside the heal, but not able to get much more.
Well, the good news for Heretics is, as you rightly said, they get a small summoner spell advantage, but it also provides a window for which Jankos to secure this neutral objective, as there is no contest for the time being, given that Malrang is on the bot side of the map. They can funnel this into Evi if they want to try and open up the map a little bit more. And so far, we haven't really been able to see Koi enable this top lane matchup, try and funnel any more resources into Jigenda. Admittedly, it has just largely been neutral, but will they now threaten a dive? There is that one ward there. Jankos hiding in the fog of war. Evi looking to get the push, and Mercer making his way to the top lane as well. Just has hit level 6. And Jigenda, after seeing Jankos, realizing that something is amiss.
And Trimby roaming up here alongside Mercer. You can see both the supports trying to move across. Vista had already secured those, so no real fight for them. Just looking to see if anyone is caught out of position. But for the moment, it's a very good start for Heretics. Gold leads everywhere but the bot side of the map. They also have that Herald if they want to try and get some more gold into Jack Spectre. Supplement his income with a couple of plates. Or they could even use it up towards that top side and try and make Jigenda have to play in an even longer lane on this Jace. Can be an issue for the Jace later on, getting chased down by Tryndamere. I've just looked at what you're Googling, Vedi. I like the way this is going. If you can find a good riddle.
I need to find a good one, but I realize that, like, nothing is happening. Like, literally nothing.
My go-to riddle is always what gets wet while it dries.
What gets wet while it dries? Yep. Oh, that's quite the thinker.
You pontificate on that.
I shall pontificate. The one that always gets me...
How does it always get you if it's a riddle?
I mean,
you know the answer,
the problem is I only ever remember the solution.
Okay.
Never the riddle itself.
Okay, give me the solution, we'll make up a riddle.
Okay, but it's the different ages, you know? It's like what has
it's the Sphinx's riddle.
What has 4 legs, what has 2 legs, what has 3 legs?
It's the Sphinx's riddle.
Yeah.
It's what walks on 4 legs, or what is 4 legs when it's young or something, and then 2 legs when it's middle-aged, and then
yeah, but that's the thing. It's not the ages aren't there because that's the solution.
Yeah, well, it's just the Sphinx's riddle. It's a very popular, very famous riddle. Sphinx's. I'm gonna look it up. Sphinx's riddle. What goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet in midday, and 3 feet in the evening?
There you go. Yeah.
The answer to the what gets wet while it dries one. Or are you still thinking about that?
So these riddles. Okay, what I've googled.
Okay.
Basically, they are champions.
Okay.
Okay. So crowd, you can play as well, and obviously the chat and production, you can all play. Right, but the riddle
I'm expecting that guy that told me it was a bad joke to be ready with all of these answers.
Before.
I'm looking at you, man.
Okay, once a hero, I'll smack you in the face. I'll drain the tank and score an ace. An outcast, yet a servant still. I fight my battles with a newfound chill. If you want me to read it again, I will.
We're going back into game now, thankfully.
Are we?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, like,
once a hero,
I'll read it again. Once a hero, I'll smack you in the face. I'll drain the tank and score an ace.
Sure.
An outcast, yet a servant still. I fight my battles with a newfound chill.
I mean, Trundle is the champion that was made cold after not being cold, because he was originally Pillar of Filth and everything, and then he became the King of Frost, right?
You would be correct. The first one is in fact Trundle. Great job. Medic with the answer to the very first one. Did anyone in the audience get that? Any of you?
Of course they're going to say yes now.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
All right.
Nice, okay. So one person. You guys need to step it up. I'm very disappointed in all of you. Do you want another one? Hang on, no, we might have a gank. Come on, Yankos, give us a gank.
Here he goes.
Yankos!
Trimby has no flash, remember. They look for him, they dive in. Mercer going in as well onto Comp. Trimby should fall to Jack Spectre. There's one, they can't get 2. And 11 minutes in, Betty, the game's come alive!
Yankos, finally fulfilling the action that we were looking for, is able to find a kill in the bot side of the map. Has to commit the flash, but as you rightly said, punishes the flash that support Trimby. Ooh, they have not spotted out Malrank. He lies in wait.
I mean, the thing is, it's just Herald plus 2 plates, right? Or Herald plus a plate.
Yeah, so they'll get 1 plate.
Malrank does come in, tries to take this, but yeah, in the end, 2 plates fall, and the third short to follow if Heretics are able to get a little bit more time with that tower. A 2,000 gold lead.
Crit.
Well,
no.
Heretics.
One.
There's 1 crit. Shigenda can knock him back, though.
Ooh, nice trade from Shigenda. Played that very well. Comes out ahead.
That Ebby's going to be back up at full life.
Oh, hang on, but that's a lot of damage that Shigenda's dealing right now. This CS difference between the 2 top laners has stayed at exactly 4 for the entire game.
It's now only 1, though, Betty.
Yeah, but it will be 4 again, I imagine.
You imagine. So there are more than 4 minions there.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so he's going to miss one of these. Okay, Shigenda gets the cannon. No -1s here.
Now there's a 6.
6 now, Betty.
These are the topics that we found while we entertain ourselves.
Oh, I never told you the what gets wet while it dries.
I'm still pontificating.
Okay.
I'm still pontificating. What gets wet while it... I want to say a towel, but it's not a towel. Wait, it is a towel!
Genius. Realm warp up towards the top lane.
Here we go,
Shigenda.
Ruby.
Trying to clear out the wave. It's already gone. Shigenda flashes away.
Flash.
Ebby spinning, slashing forward. Looking for a little bit more here. Shigenda no flash, remember. Ebby still with that ghost proccing and the crits coming in and Yankos covering. Shigenda has nowhere to go. 2-0 now
that's funny.
on the Tryndamere.
Ebby, you think, like, Shigenda's like, I've played this about as well as I can, and then Ebby's like, hi, slap, 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 dead. Tryndamere, everyone. Another advantage gain for Heretics is, I mean, a nice roam from Ruby. He basically forced Shigenda into a position that he couldn't really get out of, and now Ebby can just get another plate. Resources gained. Next objective spawns in about 1.5 minutes. 2 minutes on the side of the Infernal Dragon. And I see Mercer in the mid lane helping to get that push for Jack Spectre as they move the Rise over to the bot lane.
Yeah, Mercer and Jack Spectre really wanted to leave bot lane tower because they knew that if Malrang was on that side of the map, it was a very easy dive for Koi to execute. So they do give up plates there. 3 tower plates have fallen to the Koi bot lane, but no substantial gold lead for them because of the kill on Jack Spectra and the extra plates they got from that Rift Herald charge.
I like this though. They move Jack Spectra and Mercer into mid.
Yep.
And the idea is that with your numbers advantage, what you can do is you can get Prio in mid to then move into the bot side jungle, which they then set up very nice vision control. There's a gank now happening onto Jack Spectra, but he will be able to sidestep that one, as I was saying. So the idea is you get Prio with your numbers advantage with the bot lane, then you move in, you get these 2 wards in to get a little bit of information, and then you threaten the dive on the bot tower while also securing plates. Overall, nice bit of macro there from Heretics. Just good setup on the map. And they're able to secure one last plate before the plates do in fact fall. Securing themselves now a 2k gold lead. A lot of it sitting on the primary carries of Heretics. Overall, good stuff, and just a severe lack of any early game playmaking from Koi. Often, when we would see early game advantages from them last split, it was Malrang finding creative ways to navigate vision and find opportunities across the map, but so far this game he has been unable to do so. No dives really threatened, no ganks really found, and this early game has just been a steady advantage gain for Heretics. But Heretics have this habit of finding early game leads. We've seen them do it in the past. It's the mid game really where things start to falter. A couple of individual mistakes can sometimes crop up. Someone can overextend, maybe they mis-execute on a fight or a play, and the opposition have found ways to come back. Inconsistency. Well, I would say it is quite consistent in terms of how they play.
Poor play.
Yeah. And we're still looking for Heretics to convert that mid-game into a winning performance. Of course, they didn't have the worst split ever last split, but
it was a growing split for them, right? It's what they always said when they made the roster. They were like, this is a spring split team. In winter, if we do okay, that's fine. Here, the start of their spring against G2 is a bit of a hard benchmark to hit, but here with 2 dragons against Koi, 3-0 up. Koi yet to take a tower, yet to get a kill, yet to really secure anything on the map. I mean, they did get that Rift Herald, so doing them a slight disservice by saying they've had nothing, but not as much, definitively, as Team Heretics. Quickness. Lightning Crash coming out as well. Evie was coming in from the side. Comp has to flash away. The quickness still going to land here onto Malrang with the Cyclone coming in as well. Comp's already dead, and Malrang's next up. Heretics find 2. Jankos finds 2. And Heretics now 5-0 up as Ruby looks for a little bit more. Bubble's going to hit. Shigenda turns it around. The first kill of the game for Koi over to their top lane.
And these are some of the individual mistakes that we'll see from Heretics, but overall, a good play and a net advantage as they find 2 kills in the mid lane. A nice engage from Mercer, threatening onto Comp, forces him to flash, which means that because Mercer didn't actually burn the W, he's able to catch Malrang off guard. You can see here Comp trying to push in the wave, Mercer pops the quickness, but he quickly turns his attention over to Malrang and then gets that knock up. Comp is forced underneath the tower, which then sets Jankos up nicely to land the 2-man ultimate. And while Malrang is able to land an ultimate onto Jack Spectra, the real threat is Jankos, who's able to walk away with the double.
Really nice hold of the W as well from Mercer, not only for Comp, but also waiting for the Q from Malrang, because that can knock you out of your W. So by waiting for it, he made sure that he could lock down Malrang, give Jankos the time to follow up with the Cyclone. And Heretics now with a 2,000 gold lead, 17 minutes in. Ebby, Gale Force already complete on him. Shigenda stepping forward, not realizing. There's a Barbarian lying in wait. Shigenda knocks him back, takes a couple of tower shots. Ghost out from Ebby, TP now used. Heretics might look for a little bit more here because Malrang's on his way and Ebby doesn't want any piece of that action. He'll sacrifice the tower to make sure that he gets out alive.
Makes sense. The cross map is going to happen from Heretics regardless. You can see them already committing to this deep bot side vision. Look at all these wards that they've successfully been able to set up, which means that TPing to the top side of the map is makes a lot of sense for Koi as they're able to secure a tower after Ebby tries his best to protect it. But this vision setup is beautiful in terms of protecting Ruby and giving him all the information that he needs to do what he wants in a side lane. Observer's highlighting for us. He literally has a pentagram of wards around him right now. So he makes his way back up towards mid. But unlikely that they'll be able to convert it into anything significant. Now it's about catching some of these waves, maybe going back, spending some of the gold that they have. Jankos will run into Larson. Doesn't want to take that fight though, going to disengage.
And the thing for Heretics is they can just wait for Cloud Soul if they want, or at least the next Drake. They're going to try and push in this mid lane tower, but you don't need to overinvest into this. Let that 1-3-1 start to take effect. You can see Shigenda down towards the bottom side trying to push out the wave. But also, a slight struggle for Heretics is the fact it is a Cloud Soul, and it's not the most impactful, especially when you've invested time into getting these 2 early Drakes. Seeing the Cloud pop up is not the most fruitful result of your endeavors, but still, it's like an 80% win rate in solo queue or something.
Those are all really great points.
Oh, here we go.
I get reported for rage all the time.
Draven.
But try as you might, I'll never die.
Oh, Trindamer.
With it, yeah, okay. It was an easy one. Thought you'd like that one though, because it was relative to the game, you see. Ha 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 ha.
Good one, man.
Do you know that's fun fact to the audience? We did the merch shoot for the LEC not too long ago, and I shared with Medic my trick to getting into a good mood to take a photo, and you can use this all at home. You basically use your most exaggerated fake laugh to raise spirits. So, for example,
raise spirits or cosplay the Joker.
Well, now you have a smile on your face, you see? It always...
But I always have a smile on my face when I get to work with you, Betty.
That's not true. Don't believe his lies!
If that was put down here in the mid lane, we was going to try and chunk it out beforehand. Inside Jack Spectre, can't get it, the charge still comes in.
I can't believe you have them like putty in the palm of your hand. I love working with you, Betty. Yeah, all right. We lived together for 2 years. I know the truth. This man showered at 7 in the morning. Who showers at 7 in the morning? Was that a woo?
The thing is, it was either I woke up early or I just got back, right? It was one of the two. I'm no longer the vagabond I once was.
The vagabond. Good times.
Yeah. They work, see? They work at times.
Yeah, they were fun.
They were.
Just like this dragon's about to be.
You
right?
coming into my room and asking me questions, medical questions.
We're about to get a party on the beach around this dragon. Shigenda. Shigenda. Stop saying random Spanish words. Shigenda has TP. He's not going to use it though. He's just going to walk up. The battle over the wards. Heretics are in a really awkward spot, by the way.
Oh, Yanko's chunked out as well. Shigenda with 2 items is going to do a lot of damage with that poke.
Koi gets pushed on the mid wave, which will give them access into the river. They're making sure that Comp is safe to push that one in, which is exactly what he'll do now. They'll move into the river. Looks like Heretics, though, don't want to fight this for the time being. Are they threatening a Baron? I mean,
calling onto Mercer will stop that threat for the moment. Down to half HP.
No one is starting the dragon as of yet. Heretics have
on his way.
Completely given that one up. All right, now they will start off this objective, and they're worried about Heretics potentially going over towards that Baron. You can see the question mark pings coming down on the minimap. But Mercer losing too much health. They're going to disengage. The dragon will be conceded for free. And instead, both teams will just look at each other.
And this is one of the things you mentioned about Heretics. Like, sometimes their mid-game doesn't come up to snuff, you know?
I mean, maybe they just feel at this point in time, Koi is stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just what they feel. They don't want to run the risk of going for a fight over a Cloud Drake that it's not worth. I mean, their position was awkward. They would have to force fight in a choke point, which wasn't great. So I understand why they decided to just concede it for the time being.
They do have a very strong combination, composition if they want to force a fight, you know. Wukong going in,
sure,
the follow-up from Rakan as well.
You look at those Jace items.
Yeah, I do.
That's annoying, at this point in the game especially. Maybe they were just like, you know what, let's just wait for Jack Spectre to get his second item.
Yep.
You know, let's just buy a little bit more time. Larssen will check this brush.
Crit one, looking for more. Quickness coming out, Larssen just sprinting away. Doesn't want any piece of that. Dives back into Ebby. Undying Rage going to be used here by Ebby. Larssen trying to put the damage down, trying to wait out that ultimate as well. And with the stopwatch, he'll do exactly that. No tower here for Heretics. Cyclone from Jankos, knockup from Mercer. Glacial Prison hits Mercer. He's still got one more E if he can get away for the stun. The CC. Mercer surviving, but Shigenda diving in. 2 kills to Shigenda, 1 more to Trimby. And now the Baron very much on the cards.
And just like that, we see the blunder from Heretics, as Koi will secure a Baron. Great play from Larssen. He buys just the right amount of time, baits Ebby and Jankos into overextending as the rest of Koi find a quick collapse. They convert it into 3 kills and will now secure themselves the Baron. It was a good early game. Things looked very positive for Heretics, but they will quickly be punished. Jack Spectre getting TP'd on.
TP coming in. Trimby's going to try and delay him. Does have the slows. Larssen coming forward as well. Steals away the lightning crash. The culling as well. And the Immortal Shield Bow is not that at all. Very mortal is Jack Spectre as he does fall.
And I just want you to keep your eyes on the minimap as we see this happening, because Larssen is just buying time, and look at how quickly this collapse is coming through from the rest of Koi. Jankos realizes that it's happening. He's trying to help protect Ebby though. And while Ebby can create the space, the collapse is too fast. You can see the Jace moving up as well. And it's just overall a big overextension. Larssen was safe in that execution. The blast cone setting up for Jigenda, who's able to land a massive shock blast and secure the much needed kills for Koi to convert this into a Baron. And it's unfortunate for Heretics because this is exactly what we were talking about.
Yep.
Those mid-game mistakes we often see from them, that single play that can cost them so much. And Koi primed, poised, and ready to punish.
And now with the Baron for the next 2 minutes, you can see the gold entirely swung in their favor. Only about 1,000 ahead, but still in a very strong position as they push in.
That ain't it.
He was looking for something.
Tell you right now,
Tidal
that
wave
was not
used
it.
for it at least, I guess.
The moment he threw that realm warp out, I was like, yeah, there's no shot anybody's taking that.
It's just so difficult for Heretics to actually answer this at all. Level disadvantages as well. Larssen 16 to Ruby's 14.
Yep.
Ebby only level 14 as well. Shigenda's already got up towards that 15 mark, and the poke that comes out from Shigenda, the follow-up that can come out from Larssen, very difficult for Heretics to find an avenue to approach this game. And how do you deal with the siege, Heretics? A minute left on this Baron, already 4,000 extra gold pulled off it. They dive onto Trimby, who flashes away. The chase is there, the quickness coming out. Mercer trying to get onto Mora's Koi. Now, all hail the defensive. They get Jack Spectre with the Glacial Prison. He flashes away. It just survives. Yankos low as well, though. The Ultra Shock Laser coming out. Ebby diving in. Undying Rage. He spins back out. Mercer blocks the shot, but he blocks it with his life. Larssen getting turned back around on Ruby. They get knocked up by Marowang. Shigenda still has the damage on the side here. Still has that Baron buffs as well. There's Ebby just short of that shock blast. Heretics able to defend their base. I don't think they lost an inhibitor tower, but they did pay for it with blood.
Ended up being a 1-for-1 between the supports. Koi, though, gained so much on the map, securing those 2 towers. And we can have a look back at this. The engage is good from Heretics. I like the play from Yankos. The initial knock-up, the follow-up from Mercer is enough to provide the CC for Jack Spectre. Look at that response from Comp, though. Really the cleanse into flash immediately as Mercer rather, jumps on top of his face. He then has to get away to safety as he sees that Ebby is chasing him down. Jack Spectre being forced back by Larssen. Comp, look at this stun that comes through from Marowang at just the right time, keeping Ebby chain CC'd to allow Comp to escape. And then Larssen was aiming for Ebby, ends up being Mercer that tanks it, resulting in, as we mentioned earlier, both supports losing their life. So the Baron will now disappear.
Okay, Heretics is the worst trade deal if you do this. Okay, Koi have decided not to push in, but if Heretics had invested everyone towards this top side of the map and Koi just pushed through mid, that would have been an inhibitor at least. Koi will go for the dragon instead.
Exactly that. Baron not until 2.5 minutes. Yankos has spotted Trimby.
Shirelius. Yankos going forward. Trimby's just dead. No escape for him out of this play. Heretics able to find a pick. A good ward just in the mid lane there. Finds its mark. The dragon will be secured by Marowang, but Heretics able to delay the game for a little bit longer. Marowang should blast cone out of this one. Comp, no flash on him, no cleanse either. Mocking Shout will get the slow. The quickness coming in as well as Mercer looks for the chase. Culling being used, but there's the quickness, there's the CC. A stun underneath the tower. It's only Yankos Rumble coming in as well as Heretics try and turn this one around. Now Shigenda's going to join from the top side, and they have to dodge and dip and dive away. Instead, the quickness in by Larssen finds 2. Flashes away, but Ebby turns it around. Ebby, Undying Rage still available to him. He's looking for the dive, the redemption coming out, but he can just dive these towers for years. A double for Ebby, and Heretics somehow find a breath of life.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now. It felt like that this game was done and dusted. It felt like Koi was in firm control, but Heretics, they find that initial pick onto Trimby. Then they move into the bot side jungle, knowing that Marowang needs to get away to safety. They catch Comp on the red buff, and they know that with their chase, they can secure this kill. But they're diving a tower. You think the collapse would be good, especially with Silas on his way in. He steals away Mercer's ultimate. And notice how he's basically just going to get focused very quickly by the rest of Heretics, who are just stacked as a 5-man. He's going to land a great charm, good damage from Jigenda, but they don't have any damage left. Marowang isn't really involved in the fight. Larssen just basically dives into his own death. Marowang then gets chased down. And what was that? 4 kills? Oh, 4 kills for Heretics. Just like that. So now the game returns to a dead even state.
You got a riddle for us? No, jokes.
It has been quite the game indeed. It seems that Koi not off to the start that we expected. I thought that they would continue their momentum, resolve some of the issues that we saw from them at the beginning of last split. But in the best of ones, the former champions of best of ones do not seem to be maintaining that level of performance right now, as Heretics have found ways to bounce back in this game.
So what have we got coming up next? 20 seconds on the Baron. You can see Heretics have a little bit of vision around it, but that's going to be swept out. Ward in the back of the pit should be picked up by any control wards that Koi want to put down. Instead, Jimmy just going in with the sweep, who are now all in Koi's control. Heretics do have that mid-tier 2 quite low. They could push forward through the mid lane, try and get the prio there, trying to get that tower down. They don't have vision on the pit at all, and the Baron has now spawned. Ebby still only level 15. Doesn't really matter too much on the Tryndamere, the level 16, as far as I recall. Don't really need the tier 3 ultimate. But we'll see what he can do in this next fight. Black Cleaver, Navori, Gale Force are his itemization choices. 3 items still on Shigenda though. Shavilda's now finished for him. Mercer taking a bit of chip damage as well. Not too tanky on that. Rakar means that he can't survive too many of those accelerated shock blasts. Control ward in the back of the pit will mean that Heretics know it hasn't been started by Koi.
Koi moving into the top side of the map, looking to contest some of this vision as Heretics approach the Baron. A good damage onto Mercer from Shigenda will force him to go back to base. This gives space for Larssen to move in. Jankos takes a bit of a cheeky trade. The damage looks good. Ruby now matching levels with Larssen after the deficit he found himself in earlier. Very close to that death cap. I'm sure the Heretics would love to get that item before the Baron is started. Oh, can't quite secure that control ward sitting in the back of the pit. Comp should be able to clear that one out though, no problem. You can see him getting 1 damage crits there. It was critting, I saw.
It was. Heretics though now have to regain control around this Baron pit. Control ward goes in, they can back away. Rabadon's now finished for Ruby. You can see that gold even out a little bit. That single fight for Heretics down towards the bottom side of the map has equalized affairs. A minute on the Cloud Drake as well would be soul point for either of these teams. And although Heretics got the first 2, they haven't been able to secure a dragon in about 15 minutes or so.
The dance happens once more.
We're Vamosing out a player. I do like the dance, Fetty.
Maybe gonna throw a chicken at Larssen. That is in fact what happens when that skill occurs.
It's like mocking shout, isn't it? It's like the taunt from a bard.
Yeah, you'd think it's weird that
Father
he just
smells
throws
of elderberries. That's what he's shouting.
Your mother was a hamster, I remember the line. Yes.
But for the moment, the team's just dancing back and forth.
Good
Cullen
damage
going out.
Com.
It's good damage, as you say, onto Mercer, onto Ebby. Ebby, of course, does have the Undying Rage. Ruby's trying to put some back of his own, but slight range advantage with the rapid fire cannon and the Jace for Koi. Shigenda could look for a flank position here. Jack Spectre chipped away at. Shigenda gets the Cerildas, turns it onto Ebby in the 1v1. Shigenda wins these. Undying Range popped by Ebby. He has to walk back to base. That will be the dragon for Koi. Shigenda on a carry. Really starting to have an impact in this game.
I mean, Shigenda just really did it all there. Poked Jack Spectre out of the fight. Larssen now in danger.
Going in with the quickness. Larssen flashes away.
So small advantage gain for Heretics. But overall advantage gain for Koi. Shigenda, he can go back to base, get his health back if he wants to, and has the TP ready for a Baron. But it's just been a lot of the teams looking at each other. Too afraid to make that mistake. Not the easiest front-to-back comps. Very much about trying to leverage side lanes in this game. They don't quite know where Koi are.
See Larssen. Now they see them all with the Ultra Shock laser. But that damage
chipped away again though, and they should have that information, which means that they can just start off the Baron. The question is, are they going to do it? That they will. Koi, now begin.
Ebby has Undying Rage in 5 seconds time. Koi, keep that Baron aggroed. Anathema's Radiant Virtue tanky enough for Malrang. Ebby coming in here. Mercer's quickness, still about a third of the cooldown left. Ekos on his way forward. Koi just keeps starting it, stopping it. They don't have enough deep vision to really know where Heretics are, and there's such apprehension. So tentative here from Koi and Heretics. Don't want to start off your week with a 0-2.
Heretics, please do not start Oh, they're going to start it. Okay, they're going to start this
Mercer's
against
going to look for a flank here. He's going to try and position up towards this bush, exactly where he is. Did Larssen see him? Did Larssen see him? I don't think he did, and the quickness is coming in. Larssen immediately charmed, and Mercer lies in wait and finds his mark. Ebby going forward. Undying Mage has been popped. The Baron secured. Ebby flashing straight onto Comp, but Comp will take him out 1-for-1 so far in the trade. Shigenda looking for more, but Heretics just trying to run for the hills, trying to get out of here, trying to get those Barons out. Redemption down. Shigenda with the stopwatch. Marang on the front line, still healthy enough. Jankos' clone falls, but it's only his clone. Heretics still trying to do what they can. Shigenda still stepping forward. The Acroprism hits one. Jankos wants to stop. Watch Ruby so low. Mercer dodging and diving and dipping away. Everyone's so low, but Trimby is the first to fall. Jack Spectra surviving. Shigenda takes him out with the shutdown. Shigenda dashes forward. Ruby down as well. 2 Barons remain for Heretics. Jankos takes him. 1 Baron left for Heretics as Shigenda gets a triple.
Wow, what a close exchange. As Heretics, they walked away with the Baron limping as Koi was able to chase them down. Just out of vision, Larssen wasn't quite able to see Mercer. Timing really caught Larssen off guard there. And they're able to eliminate him from the very start of the fight. Ebby, though, on the back line, overcommits here, I feel. He needs to try and create space, but he actually dashes in, seeing that Ruby was following up. Flashes over the wall to hand over a kill to Comp, and to this point Shigenda is saying we can actually chase this. Marang does take a lot of damage as he's trying to set up for Comp to dish out what he can. Marang's then forced back, and you can see at this point the Comp for Shigenda is saying, hey, we can fight this. But Jack Spectra, with his ability to kite the stopwatches repeatedly coming through, create this crazy ebb and flow back and forth where Koi goes in, they have to disengage. They go in and then they disengage. But it's only really when Shigenda finds that initial kill that he feels confident enough to go for more. Mercer gets absolutely melted as he tries to assist his jungler, and it means that only 1 Baron is left standing. 9,000 damage is what Shigenda has to show for it.
Man, that Tryndamere in the top lane, he is a very angry man, but his rage is pretty futile in these sorts of situations. Ian Larssen having
minus 63 Baron power play for the time being. Jankos the only one with the Baron left. Ruby being sent to the top lane to push that wave out. This is a game.
It is, and it's 11:35 at night. It has to weigh on the players. Fatigue does start to have an impact at this sort of portion of a day. You know, scrim's very much over by this point, usually. And for these teams, you can see a few mistakes, a few mechanical misplays coming in, a few macro errors. But who else but Jankos surviving with the Baron buff at the end? Yesterday it was solo carry for the team here. Baron hasn't really given them too much, but he does have a 3-level advantage over Malrang, which is not something too uncommon when people play against Malrang, because, you know, Malrang likes to gank, doesn't like to farm as much, or I shouldn't say he doesn't like to, he just doesn't do it. He might really enjoy it, and his team just wants him to gank. It's like, well, I will do what the team demands. Dragging up in 45 seconds though, Vedi. And you can see once again these teams are readying the war zone, setting up these lines of scrimmage, setting up these ward lines, trying to get whatever vision they can. Last time, it's difficult for Heretics to step forward in this sort of area. Shigenda stepping back as the edge of night as well now.
Heavy's pushing in bot. I mean, I guess it's fine, but Larssen's going to be right
How fine is it? Like, everyone's collapsing. Everyone is on their way here. Larssen already there. Jankos trying to keep the rest of Koi away, but Ebby is going to be in a 1v4 very quickly. Mercer trying to join in as well. Heretics, I mean, Ebby is going to distract the entirety of Koi, and maybe they can take out the jungler in the meantime. The redemption is not enough. Ebby continues to distract. The stopwatch buys a little bit more time, but it's not going to be enough. 1-for-1 traded so far, but it's jungler for top laner, which makes the secure a lot easier for Heretics.
I mean, of course, it's about whether or not Shigenda can land this poke on the Jace. That'll be a big determining factor in how this fight plays out. Larssen does have the stolen Tryndamere ultimate. Good damage from Comp. The ultimate comes out from Trimby.
Jankos looking for the smite here, will secure it. The chase is on. Larssen has the Undying Mage. Mercer already dead. Larssen onto Ruby. Shigenda there as well. Larssen trying to put the damage down to Jack Spectra. He gets one, but it's only Comp. Larssen with the Undying Rage, stealing it away. He survives. Shigenda low off towards the backside. Jankos looking for Trimby here as well. All of Koi battered, bruised, bleeding, but they still manage to get the kills. Trimby will fall. So will Ruby. In the end, a 4-for-3 exchange with Heretics getting the dragon, and Jankos looking for a little bit more. The TP coming in from Shigenda immediately though. He's back to full HP, and Jankos realizes he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Cyclone used. Larssen healing up with the Kingslayer as well. There's a GA on Jankos, but that Guardian Angel can only look down as Jankos is about to go to hell. Larssen and Shigenda take him. The shutdown in. And 40 minutes into this game, there is 1,000 gold between the teams. They have the same amount of dragons, and they have the same amount of kills, Betty.
That they do, and let's look back at this great play from Comp. He sees a low health Mercer, and with the damage from Jigenda combined with the Gale Force E, Comp is able to find that execute. Ruby gets separated on the backside as Larssen just tears apart the front line for Heretics. Secures the kill onto Jack Spectra.
So look how close Jigenda was to dying. Like, a little bit more damage on Ruby would have been enough.
But the sustain that Larssen has, the fact that he TP'd back in as well, Jigenda playing these fights incredibly well, has been absolutely massive for Koi in these exchanges. The Jace has just been doing so much work in the team fights. And Ebby, that fight really starting off with him getting caught in the bot lane. Now they're being forced out of their own jungle. The Blastcone will take them to safety. The Baron spawns in 20 seconds. This game has been long.
It's been the longest game of the split.
I mean, that's not hard,
There have only been 10 games,
yes,
admittedly.
And
Ebby.
It's been a strange back and forth affair. Both teams have made plays, one could say.
Yes.
Look at Jankos. Look at Jankos with this flank. They've put a ward there to try and see it, but Jankos, I think, has found the angle.
Redwall going in as well. Mercer's going to be put onto the backline. The quickness, they're looking for Comp, but immediately he cleanses and gets away, and Mercer's already dead. Jankos trying to do what he can as well, but he's got no GA to save him, and he will fall. And Heretics, they made a play, but Koi just jumped right on him. 2 quick kills over to Koi, and they will turn their eyes to the 3rd Baron of the game.
That should be done and dusted for Koi. I like the idea from Heretics, but Koi, in that funnel, made it too easy to turn and burn, and they're able to get that kill onto the front line, the primary engage, and walk away with the Baron. And Jack Spectra, he should be fine. Look at the damage that has come out from Jigenda this game.
Pretty efficient damage from him as well, or effective damage.
Quite effective damage indeed. He has been instrumental in the outcome of this game, and let's see if Koi can finally end things. You can see the idea here. Mercer gets sent into the flank, a good flash and good CC thrown onto Comp, but he immediately cleanses, hides behind the safety of Larssen. Malrang in a bit of an awkward position really to start off the fight, but it doesn't matter as Larssen is acting as that tank. Wasn't even forced to burn the Tryndamere ultimate. And now they have the Baron. Now they need to siege.
And it really feels like when we have these fights where it's more traditional front to back, it's Koi's advantage, right? Every time it's been a, hey, you guys, we'll face off in the mid lane. Who wins? Koi tends to win. Heretics win when they find picks, win when they find Ebby maybe caught out in a side lane, and then they collapse on it, and it's a bit more messy, it's a bit more skirmishy. The question is, how can you make a fight like that happen? Often they are just organic. They just come out of situations in the game. Heretics now on the back foot as they try and defend against this Baron. It's up for another 2 minutes time, this buff for Koi. They look for Ruby. Comp takes a chunk. GA still on its way back off cooldown for Jankos. Still a quarter of the timer on that. He is stunned up for a second. Ebby trying to get some damage down onto Malrang, but not really the squishiest target in the world, as this top lane inhibitor tower will be Koi's prize for their poking and their prodding. And alongside it, the inhibitor will fall.
Base has finally been broken, and the final dragon of the game will be spawning in 40 seconds. Koi returned to base as we set up for what I imagine, right, will be the final fight of the game.
Yeah, but I think if Heretics win it, it might not be.
Oh no. Oh no, oh no,
Mercer.
no.
Okay, Mercer's doing what he did last time. The flank position, find a way around him. Now Malrang doesn't realize that Mercer's here. Malrang goes in with Glacial Prism, but immediately he's locked up with the quickness, and he's gonna go down with the quickness too. Heretics find another kill, and once again, it's off the back of Mercer on a flank.
Oh no, oh no. Koi have lost their Ebby!
Yeah. Okay, that's a G. Tidal Wave comes out. He's just baiting for the ultimate. Aqua Prism was too early as well. The Undying Rage. Larssen dived in. Oh my goodness gracious. He pops his own Undying Rage. The stopwatch buys a second, but it's not going to buy enough. The shutdown to Jankos. And I said Heretics wanted to skirmish, wanted to fight. They find it. Comp dashes in. Takes down the clone.
Wait, Jack Spectra, he's on the dragon.
Jack Spectra is on the dragon.
Ruby's gonna die.
Ruby is so low. The culling being used. Ebby half of his cooldown back for the Undying Mage. Ebby will use the Blast Cone. The dragon secured. Cloud Soul. Woohoo! For Heretics. But Jigenda's still on the chase.
Run, Heretics, run, Jigenda.
They've got Cloud Soul. They're so fast,
They're
Betty.
so
You can never catch them now.
Can they? No,
oh, no,
Ebby,
Ebby,
no!
you're on a ward,
Run, Ebby, run!
You're on a ward. He pops the Edge of Night with the mocking shout, though. Great stuff by him to get rid of that spell shield, and everything's got a little bit wacky, a little bit loopy, and that's what Jankos loves to thrive in. Ebby now coming onto the backline, Undying Rage being popped back up, is going to hit on Jankos as Ruby steps forward, Shigenda going in, Undying Rage. Ebby held it. Ebby held it, and now he pops it. He turns onto Comp.
Why are you going in?
Well, he has to do something. He's stunned up. He's locked down. And in a series of unfortunate events, eventually Ebby dies. Yep, it's almost midnight. I can feel it. Double inhibitors down now. Mercer has the quickness, has the flash. Jack Spectra has the GA, full items on this ADC. Jankos looking for Comp, but that GA is yet to be popped after he bought it all that time ago. Larson running down the mid lane, trying to join his team. Ebby's still 30 seconds away, and with the super minions pushing in and the Cullen going out, and the Glacial Prison hitting the Ruby, almost dead. Ruby will go down, the Charm going onto Comp, and immediately fences it away, and now it's Jankos, Jack Spectra, and Mercer against the world, and at the moment, the world is looking mighty strong. Super minions pushing in the mid lane. Oh, not quite yet.
I think Jack Spectra can hold this, though. Like, Ebby spawns back in 10 seconds time. They're going to keep interrupting the bases so that Shigenda can't TP back. But they're also keeping it one wave at a time, which should be more than enough wave clear for Jack Spectra. Just needs to, engage on Jankos.
Going in, Comp there, TP coming in as Jankos' clone gets taken low once again. Ebby rejoins, 3 minions left, but the Runaans will proc those. That went, how did that dodge? They all just like stepped to the side of it and went straight through them. Heretics.
Look at the wave in bot lane.
On their side,
now,
the wave now
Koi
pushing
have another
in,
wave that they want to try and take advantage of. Medic, you take a breather. It's fine. I'll play-by-play the next fight.
Please don't.
It's all good. Don't worry about it, mate. I've got you. Ebby
goes
in! He's going in! He's supposed to pop the Undying Rage, and he's straight back out again! That's going to be the tower for Koi. That's going to be the third inhibitor falling.
Ebby, what
Ebby, man. What are you doing?
I understand anger, man, but just like calm the Undying Rage a tad. Bring it back. Mercer's looking for the flank again. Oh, no way has he actually got all the way through it. Mercer, what?
I'm hiding.
You know, like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego and where's Wally? We should do it well on Earth is Mercer.
Mercer's found Larson.
Finds Larson.
Well, hang on, Larson.
he had the quickness, so he just used the quickness to go through Mercer. Does mean that ultimate is down. Marin was off towards the top side. Now, Heretics have no inhibitors. True. However, they have a Cloud Soul, Betty.
Yeah, they do.
So we'll see what that does for them. The
Jack Spectra, Jankos.
In 10 seconds, Jankos chipped away at.
Ebby.
Okay, Ebby.
You spin me right round, baby.
Like a record.
No, not that song. Right, you spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record. Oh, right. I forgot the rest of the lyrics.
I tried to work with you, Eddie. Jankos going for Comp once again. Comp trying to get away. The stun, the Glacial Prison solves the quickness. Jack Spectra going in. The knock-up is beautiful. Comp into the GA. Ebby trading with Larson down towards the bottom side. Now can Comp get away? Can he somehow dodge away from this one? He can't. GA popped. Comp down. Super minions so ready.
Oh my god, the super minions are right. Larson at the TP.
Has teleport, and there's so many super minions in the base now. Ebby has gone back. Trimby and Shigenda here. Ruby doing the damage. Mercer going in. Shigenda already down. The Baron next up. Maran can steal this.
Ruby, you got a TP. Ruby got a TP.
In. Ebby has no Undying Rage. The tower dies. Ruby can't get there in time. And you can take the Baron, Heretics. Because Koi will take the win.
Ruby TP to the tower.
Nothing to see here, just a normal game of League of Legends.
Just a clean game of League of Legends.
Yeah.
Isn't this pretty much exactly how the last Koi versus Heretics matchup went? My head hurts.
Yep.
1, 2, 3,
well,
go!
A win's a win, as they say.
You put it in the books.
We're all winners, I think we can say. That was... You got to see some great
someone
league.
From the audience just walked past, and then the most sarcastic one. Yeah, we're all winners today. We're all winners. We got to witness that.
I'm gonna have a drink.
Understandable. I think